Yo, what's good, y'all? You dub back here again, here in 2019. Let's get it, bringing y'all more new, fresh content as always. Now, it's been a little while since I've done a fan fiction vid. I didn't want to flood the market. I didn't want to do too many, although there are many more I have to do and have been had planned for months now. The thing is, there's a lot of other videos that I'm juggling and getting to. I want to keep things, ever changing on the channel so that things don't get stale. See what works, see what I feel like doing and whatnot. But yeah, let's go. Y'all see the title, a composite Superman? Because let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, over the years, so many people have come up with so much about Superman, and then they pull from movies, they pull from video games, they pull from animated series, they pull from the comics, they pull for their own headcanon. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna come up with our own composite Superman. All right, we're not gonna use Thought Robot. We're not gonna use no. We're gonna give him all the abilities that fans say that Superman actually has. Not these wacky Silver Age. No. We're gonna be very for real for this. All right. Now, we don't need to go over the normal story of Superman. All right, do we? But as I always do, I guess I'll give it origin. Y'all know he come from Krypton, the last son of Krypton. We all know what happened. Well, DC steadily trying to retcon what happened to Krypton. So who knows, man? But we go on the classic version. Krypton's gone. Jor-El ain't alive, which I actually do like Jor-El being alive and post DC Rebirth common, you know, landscape. But that's Dr. Manhattan's foolishness. Once again, the Watchmen affecting the DC universe currently. So, his parents, Kal-El's parents are dead. He was raised by Jonathan Martha Kent, lived life as Superboy. And that's the thing. This version will actually have lived the life as Superboy. And then he came out as Superman, Metropolis and all that. As time went on, he gained his powers. Now, he found out this version, now I've done a scientific analysis years ago on Kal-El, where the Kryptonian body is pretty much like a solar-powered, battery. So he can or cannot live without food. Like, he doesn't need to technically eat. His cells are kind of like plant cells. So he technically can live without food. Technically can live without water. He can survive underwater. He doesn't need to breathe oxygen. He can survive in space. He can survive in the vacuum of space. So we're already talking about that level. Now you get like, well, we've seen that. Nah. He flies. Why does he fly? Because his solar-powered body allows for accelerated abilities. All right. More denser, stronger muscle strength allows him to push off and stuff, allows him to cut through the air and stuff. Super speed's the same way. So this version of Superman isn't just, oh, he just has powers. No, it's actually a very mechanical thing, right? So super speed, super strength, all of that, because pretty much he's powered by light. And, at least you could say, well, then how does he exceed the speed of light? Well, just because you power by something doesn't mean you can't exceed it. And who says that light is the limitation of speed? It's all a little bit relative at those points or whatever. But he's learned how to bend, space and time, kind of warp, and so he flies at extremely high rates of speed, runs at extremely high rates of speed. Again, because of his muscle dense fibers become, so very durable, so very strong. So all those physical attributes. X-ray vision deals with tapping into the electromagnetic spectrum. The same thing with heat vision. Well, heat vision is utilizing that solar power, solar radiation to emit heat. Freezing, it's just reverting. Super breath is using his lungs. Freezing, he learned how to freeze breath was a learned behavior of how to lower the body temperature. Instead, taking away heat, he's able to revert to that, which also means he has heat breath. He also figured out how to hardwire his mind to move way faster. Okay? He moves his mind, like his body is learned to react if he wills it to, subconsciously faster than the speed of thought. So he really doesn't get hit. he moved, his the way he thinks is faster than a human because he's learned to think faster than light speeds. Okay, he's learned how to hardwire that. So you have that. With that being said, he's also learned telepathy. Okay, he's learned telekinesis. Okay, telepathy, be able to mind read, telekinesis, move things with his mind and whatever. So there's that. Let's see. He's also learned how to do an expulsion of solar radiation. So there's that. Uh, he also has learned so a bunch of UV. He can emit UV light, so he can use his body as in different things of the electromagnetic spectrum to be able to see where there is no seeing, whether it be emitting visible light or he can emit different things. He can emit infrared light, he can emit ultraviolet light, he can emit gamma light. Like he can do all of this stuff, right? Um, he's able to. He's practically immortal. As long as he still has reserves of solar energy, he's immortal. Um, let's see. What are the things about a composite Superman? He can fly back and forth through time because he's learned how to manipulate things. So there's that. Time doesn't restrain him. Uh, you say, well, what about the dimensional barriers? Yeah, what about them? He's learned how to. He can go through any of the dimensional barriers. He can go into the fifth dimension, the sixth dimension, no problem. All he has to do is just tap into whatever that realm is so he can transcend into various realms and survive there because his mind is that level developed. He has psychic resistance. Let's see, what else do we have for the composite Superman? Psychic resistance, weather manipulation to a lower degree, not storm level, but he has some weather manipulation because of his abilities. Let's see, let's see. He's a walking nuclear bomb. I already talked about that. Anything else to know about the composite Superman? He can exist amongst any plane. Uh, oh yeah, magic. Magic isn't a weakness to this version of Superman because he can punch astral objects. He can enter the astral plane if he so wills. Yeah, that sounds about it. That's about my level of composite Superman. You could say, well, what level is he on? Don't know. Don't know, because I would have to actually write the comic. But let's just say I can see him trading blows with Thought Robot Superman. If you want to say that, yeah, I could definitely see it potentially. I can definitely see him defeating Darkseid without question. And yes, I'm talking about true form Darkseid. You could say, did I give him the most abilities? Probably not, but don't really need to. I mean, you're talking about levels that are just ridiculous. Where I mean, if he's casually entering sixth dimension, that means he's on that potentially multiversal level, if not greater. See what I'm saying? So it doesn't really matter at that point. At that point, we're talking astronomical points of power. You can debate where he ranks power wise, but this is just a Superman who learned to actually develop his abilities. Oh, and this version of Superman can actually throw hands adequately because he's learned to analysis. He's trained with Batman, um, and legitimate. He's actually a legit fighter. Okay, he focuses on boxing when necessary. He focuses on boxing, various forms of grappling. Um, you know, pretty much that mainly boxing, some jujitsu, some pancration, uh, and studying texts from the databanks. With his battles from General Zod, he made a truce with General Zod. And he learned from General Zod. Okay, you know how Batman learned from various rogues. Well, Superman learned from General Zod some Kryptonian martial arts. So there's that as well. Unexpected Wonder, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts. What is your version of Composite Superman? What do you think of this version? Do you think this version is better than the current version we have? Let me know. All right. And there will definitely be more and more consistent with these fan fiction characters because, like I said, I have a lot to cover. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. Peace.